There is a true freshman starting at quarterback on the road in week one, and I'm going to break down that matchup with the play on the spread. I'm Sean Alvarez, and this is WagerTalk TV, where I'm going to be looking at the Saturday night matchup between the California Golden Bears and the Oregon State Beavers. But before I get into that, make sure you're subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel, where you can find daily actionable info for free as we break down matchups, as well as shows like WagerTalk Today and Bet on It to assist you with your wagers. Now it's the first year of Riverboat Ron at the helm of being the general manager at Cal, and the Golden Bears will have to replace Fernando Mendoza, who they lost in the transfer portal to Indiana. While losing a first-round talent at quarterback is a big hole to fill, this was an offense that averaged only 5.89 yards per play last season, and a change could be what is needed for this Cal offense. Justin Wilcox was able to acquire Devin Brown, a former four-star prospect from Ohio State, but Wilcox saw enough from true freshman Jaron Sagapoletti to make him the starter going into week one. Jaron has a 6'3" frame and a big arm to go with his size, making him one of the top quarterbacks in the nation as a recruit last year. The Golden Bears lost two solid running backs by the way of transfer portal, but brought in three transfers to try and fill that gap. All three transfers have experience at this level, and I expect to see more of a running back by committee unless we see one of these three break out and establish himself as a starter. Cal's offense was limited last year by poor play from the offensive line, which they see 5 new starters in the group, 3 of which came by way of the transfer portal. It will not take much to be better than last year's squad, but they will need to significantly improve in order to give their true freshman quarterback the best chances to succeed at Berkeley. The front 7 of the Golden Bears defense is their anchor and is led by Cade Olave, who may be one of the best linebackers within the ACC this year. And Cal lost 2 big pieces at corner in the NFL draft that they'll need to be replaced, but Wilcox brought in 4 transfers during the summer to fill out his secondary starters. Cal was ranked 27th in yards per play last year, which was benefited by a solid run defense that ranked 13th and 14th in rushing yards per game against and yards per carry. Getting most of their starters back from that front 7 is going to be big for this defense, and really the question marks are within the secondary. But they have 3 seniors and a junior with playing experience while attempting to fill those gaps. If the secondary can step up, this is going to be a real tough team to move the ball against. Now, Oregon State struggled throwing the ball last year, but they brought over Malik Murphy from Duke by way of the transfer portal, who had a solid season last year, but doesn't have a lot of weapons to throw to here. The top returning receiver for the Beavers is Trent Walker, who will line up mostly in the slot, but caught 81 passes for 901 yards last season, but he's also surrounded by young receivers that lack experience at this level. Anthony Hankerson returns to Oregon State for his senior season after running for 1,082 yards with a 4.7 yards per carry average last season, and will benefit by a rebuilt offensive line if they can improve off of last year. The Beavers really struggled on defense last season while ranking 110th in rush yards per game and 100th in points per game given up last season. They do return 6 starters, most coming from the front 7, but I'm not sold on that being a good thing to bring back experienced players that gave up 4.53 yards per carry and managed only 7 sacks in 12 games last year. The Oregon State secondary lacks talent within the group, and if the front 7 cannot pressure the quarterback, that can make for long days in the secondary while covering receivers for an extended time. Making the first start as a true freshman on the road in Corvallis is not an easy task, but I think Wilcox will ease his freshman quarterback into the game, and if Jaron gets comfortable, I think he can torch this Oregon State defense. There's a lot of question marks on the Oregon State offense, and will constantly be playing behind the sticks if Hankerson cannot get the running game going. Cal has a big edge on defense here, and I believe that they can get the win on the road here in week 1. And head over to WagerTalk.com, where you can find more of my plays, as well as plays by top handicappers at WagerTalk. But no matter what you choose to play, as always, best of luck with your wagers, and let's cash.